Good evening and welcome to Estuary TV News. I'm Hugh Riches. Joining me in the studio are Julie Herrick, Joanne Sculthorpe and Jonathan Noble, here to talk about this weekend's Regency Festival. But first it's over to Emma Lingard for the news headlines.
Hello, the headlines today. The construction industry gets a financial boost. Shoppers in North Lincolnshire get free Wi-Fi, and think before you give money to beggars. Grants of up to £3,000 are on offer following the launch of a construction apprenticeship. The money is part of a wider job creation scheme through the Regional Growth Fund. It's hoped local firms will use the grant to take on new staff as the money covers the first year of wages. Simon Dyson, Managing Director of Sidon Homes and President of the Federation of Master Builders, believes it's a good idea and hopes builders take up the offer.
This is very important. At the moment there's a real shortage of trades coming into the industry, and this gives local firms the ability to just assist and help in trying to get young people into a really exciting industry. The opportunities that are available to people sort of in the area are the sort of, it's really the construction industry that we sort of deal with, and it's not just bricklayers but joiners, plumbers, plasterers, electricians are all coming through. Also with the announcement of the renewables coming to the area, then this is an exciting time for that industry as well, and people will be looking for new housing in this area to support that industry.
Free Wi-Fi is being offered to shoppers in Scunthorpe and Brigg following an investment by North Lincolnshire Council. £20,000 has been poured into the infrastructure to improve communications for shoppers. Visitors will be able to access up to 2 hours free Wi-Fi and simply need to register for the service. People in Grimsby and Cleethorpes are being asked to think twice before giving money to beggars. Humberside Police and North East Lincolnshire Council have launched a campaign advising shoppers to give money to charity instead. It comes after some people had said they felt intimidated by those begging near the town centre. Depression in mothers is being examined by researchers at Scunthorpe and Goole hospitals. The Born and Bred in Yorkshire project is being run by the University of York and aims to find out more about the health and well-being of babies and their parents during all the stages from pregnancy to birth. Clinical depression affects many mothers and can often be misdiagnosed. Workers' Memorial Day services were held across northern Lincolnshire. A minute's silence was held at each of the locations in Immingham, Cleethorpes and Grimsby as those who lost their lives at work were remembered. The services take place every year and aim to highlight the dangers people at work face.
First of all, remember the loved one who's died. It could be a mother, it could be a father, it could be a brother, son, daughter, aunt, uncle. What they don't want is anyone more deaths at work. They don't want other people to suffer like they have. So we're trying to prevent the deaths at work, and it would mean that the workers who's already died have not died in vain.
An 18th century masterpiece by one of the old masters has received generous support towards its conservation. The painting by Francesco Gardi was bought by the Ferrens Art Gallery in 1967 and is an oil on canvas, which would have formed a decorative cycle of 8 canvases, which would have been in a Venetian house. The Friends Group has sponsored the project to restore the fragile artwork. Following conservation, it will be included in a major exhibition next year. The first Sky bike ride takes place in Scunthorpe next month. Organised by British Cycling and Sky, it offers cyclists the chance to join a guided ride. There are rides of varying distances and difficulties to suit everyone. Following rides are expected to take place in Brigg and Normanby Hall. Keen fundraisers David and Diane Tovey of Cleethorpes kick-started their new year by raising nearly £300 for the RNLI. The Toveys each year bake cakes and open their chalet on the Humberston Fitties to the public. They hope to beat last year's record of £1,000 and a penny. In an interview with Estuary TV last year, the couple said it was the people they relied upon to buy them.
I must admit, there's a lot goes into making these cakes.
Oh yeah.
fortunately, we do have the people that come out and buy them. And it's surprising how many people actually support us.
And that's all from me. Goodbye.
Now I have some sport for you. Headers from Nikita Jelavic and Shane Long saw Hull come back from 2-0 down to draw 2-2 against Fulham at Craven Cottage. Scunthorpe secured promotion to League One despite losing 2-0 at Exeter, ending Russ Wilcox's record 28 games unbeaten. Grimsby faces Gateshead in the Skrill Premier playoffs after drawing 0-0 at Braintree in their final game of the league season. The first leg is at Blundell Park on Thursday evening. Lincoln drew 3-3 with Barnet at Sincilbank despite leading 3-1 earlier in the match. North Ferriby drew 1-1 at home to Brackley Town at Church Road and now face Guiseley in the playoffs after finishing the season as runners-up to AFC Telford in the Conference North. Congratulations to Cleethorpes Town for promotion as champions to the Tool Station Premier League after winning 3-1 at Appleby Frodingham. Meanwhile, Grimsby Borough completed their season with a 3-0 victory over Botsford Town. In the Evo's stick Northern First, Goole AFC beat Newcastle Town 1-0 thanks to Andrew Jackson. Brigtown lost 2-1 at Gresley FC despite Jamie Coulson giving the Zebras the lead. College Wanderers won the Lincolnshire Junior Cup final after a 2-0 win against Ruston Sports to complete a league and cup double, having won the TSW Printers Scunthorpe League, triumphant in all their 15 games. Finally, Grimsby Town Futsal were crowned champions of the first ever National Soccer AM Cup after a dramatic last-minute goal saw them beat their Derby County counterparts 7-6. In the summer, they will travel to Barcelona for a playing tour. That's all for the sports. Now, there can't be many people who don't like a good Jane Austen novel, and many people hate a bad one. Mansfield Park comes to mind. But everybody likes Mr. Darcy and Pride and Prejudice, or Colonel Brandon from Sense and Sensibility. If you like Jane Austen, and fops and dandies, and the Napoleonic Wars, and romantic poetry, then you'll like the Regency Weekend that's coming up. And joining me in the studio are Julie Herrick, Joanne Sculthorpe, and Jonathan Noble. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome and thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us.
You look absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
Julie, will you just tell us what's going on in this Regency Weekend?
Well, first of all, we're starting on Friday with an afternoon tea, and then Friday evening we are at the Bull Hotel in Horncastle, aren't we?
Yeah.
Just having a little get-together with impromptu dancing, and Jonathan's written a play.
Called Deception Discovery. It's a black comedy. It's set in obviously the Regency period, and essentially it's a tale of revenge featuring a man with triple identity.
And is it in Regency style?
It's very much in Regency style, yes.
That sounds as convoluted enough for that sort of slightly early Gothic period.
We hope so. It starts with a stagecoach robbery, later there's a dual robbery, there's a marriage proposal, there's an assault of a sexual nature.
Of course.
There was a sword fight, and then evil does not triumph in the end, you'll be pleased to know.
Is there lust and betrayal?
There is much lust, very dastardly kind of character, yes, who at first sight appears to be wholly good.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. Joanne, you all look absolutely fantastic. You know about these costumes particularly.
Yes, I do make costumes. I make all my own costumes, and I've made the costumes for Jonathan. We research on the internet to try and make costumes that are authentic to the period. There are a few patterns around which are designed, which are historically correct, so try to follow those.
How long, that outfit that you're wearing now, for instance, looks absolutely fantastic. How long would it take to make that?
I've just made this. I think it took me less than a week. A few days, yes. I'm going quite quick at making them now.
Okay.
It used to take me longer.
And back in the Regency, a lady would probably be making all her own dresses anyway, wouldn't she?
Yes, ladies would have, all ladies sewed, whether they were highborn or not. They all did their own sewing and embroidery, obviously. So yes, but it would have all been hand sewn in those days. I use a modern machine.
And Julie, you know about the dancing?
Yes, I teach the dancing. We meet once a month to dance, and it's a general just chit-chat and get-together as well, isn't it, really? We've extended our time that we meet from 2.5 hours to 3 hours, just so everybody can talk.
Where do you meet? Where do these events take place?
Various places around Lincolnshire, really. Laceby, we do Belchford, Tetford, yeah, and there's one near you. Yeah, as well.
One sees these dances in great costume dramas and films set in the period, and they all look very, there's an awful lot of prancing around each other and nodding and holding hands, but they're not exactly intimate affairs, are they?
Oh no, not supposed to. No, that's why we wear gloves, because we don't really want to touch the gentleman, do we?
They're foul creatures, quite horrible.
But it was one of the few occasions where young men and women of quality could meet and interact on a fairly intimate basis.
Pass little notes to each other.
Yes.
It's all very little, looking at each other over their hands.
It's all very flirtatious.
Yeah.
Jonathan, tell us about the Regency. The King George III went mad, and finally in, what was it, 1810?
1811, his son, the Prince Regent, took over because his father was deemed mentally unfit to rule. So the Regency period, strictly speaking, is 1811 to 1820, but a lot of people give it a slightly wider breadth and refer to the period probably from about 1780 to 1830. And it was the height of, for people with money, it was a height of taste, fashion, music. That
period really effectively from the time of the French Revolution to the accession of Queen Victoria. That's sort of the long Regency, as it were. Yes. So the early 19th century, late 18th century. What is it about it that still fascinates us, apart from the obvious elegance?
Well, one is the way the sexes, certainly for people of quality, interacted with each other. There was much more formality. There wouldn't have been any bad language. Everybody was quite decorous, and obviously ladies had to be protected from young men, so hence they had to be chaperoned at all times, really. And so it's the fascination of the whole period, really, the music, Handel, Bach, the fashion, literature, as you've alluded to earlier, Jane Austen, and such as that. It's a fascinating period.
It's quite romantic.
It's very romantic.
There are one or two other aspects that one associates with this. It's a great time for political upheaval, the Napoleonic Wars. Of course, you'll have plenty of people would be coming to these balls not dressed elegantly as you are as a civilian, but in the scarlet and gold of a soldier returning from Waterloo. Anniversary of Waterloo next year, of course. We'll be celebrating that.
Of course, probably as part of our May Day festival, I'm sure we'll incorporate and encapsulate it in some measure.
Yeah, definitely, yes.
How about for these celebrations? If you're going to get every detail right, then there'll be, ladies like this, gentlemen like you will have to be fighting for their honours. Will there be duelling?
We haven't featured a duel in this as entertainment, but that's something we are going to consider in the future, because one of our members is quite adept with the blade. So we're thinking when we do some further drama next year, we'll probably include some of that as well.
I think they would outrage. They would invite each other to join them for grasp before breakfast, wasn't it? That was the term they used when they asked each other out for a fight. Vauxhall Gardens or somewhere like that. What about the other details? Food. Are you preparing special food? Is there contemporary food?
We're having food prepared for us for the ball on Sunday night at the Admiral Rodney, and they are making a Regency style menu, so it would be the sort of foods that would have had during the Regency. The main
and just a reminder, that's in where and when again?
Horncastle. The festival runs from the 2nd of May to the 5th.
2nd of May to the 5th.
The ball is on the Sunday. We're at Gunby Hall on Monday, so if any of your viewers would like to come along to the Regency occasion.
It sounds perfect, and I said rude to interrupt you, but that is all we have time for this one. If you have any stories, then please email us at estuary.tv or contact us via Twitter, on Facebook, or pick up the telephone and call 01472 315561. For now, good evening.